At 6 tonight, more money for our kids' education may sound like a good plan for most, and the teachers union is hoping it gets support by asking the state to raise gaming and the sales tax to help pay for it. But with a struggling economy during a pandemic, some business groups here in the Valley are saying that's going to be a tough sell, Todd.
And so 13 Action News reporter Jeremy Chen spoke with both the union and also local business groups today, and he joins us now live with their thoughts on this idea. Jeremy.
Yeah, Todd and Tricia, these tax initiatives were first proposed by CCEA earlier this year, basically an effort to get more money into Nevada's schools. Business groups say they support education, however, not at the expense of economic growth.
Nearly 200,000 signatures. That's how many CCEA was able to gather in support of a gaming and sales tax hike to boost funding for education.
The fact that people supported these efforts, particularly one of the ones that's framed specifically for education, I think that's very encouraging.
The number of signatures gathered is roughly double of what's required to get it to the state legislature for the 2021 session. The state's gaming tax rate would go from 6.75% to 9.75%. The sales tax hike would go from 8.375% to 9.875% in Clark County. The gaming tax revenue would go into the state's general fund, where the hope is some goes towards education. As for the sales tax revenue, part of it is already earmarked for education. CCEA Executive Director John Velardita says the sales tax hike could provide about $1 billion in potential revenue, a game changer to improve Nevada schools.
You need to put the resources into the system, and the price tag on the resources, 3 different studies say, is approximately $1 billion more each year.
However, the Vegas Chamber believes a tax hike is a bad idea in the midst of a pandemic.
Increasing Nevada's sales tax during COVID-19 would absolutely hurt families and cost jobs.
President and CEO Mary Beth Seawold says it could make Nevada's sales tax one of the highest in the nation.
It would put our state in a position that is not competitive when it comes to people wanting to buy goods in Nevada.
She instead would be more open to a broader tax proposal that didn't target specific industries. The Nevada Resort Association agreed in a statement saying, quote, "To be very clear, the gaming industry has consistently supported a broad-based business tax to support public education and has had a long history of investing in Nevada classrooms. Broad-based taxes are a sound and stable approach rather than the volatility that comes with taxing a single industry, particularly one that is struggling to recover." Velardita says the pandemic has shown the state needs a more diversified economy and says it's something the legislature will have to figure out.
It's up to the governor and lawmakers in the 21 session to address the economy, to address finding more revenue, not cuts, at least from our perspective.
Now, if the legislature doesn't take action during the 21 session or rejects it, it will then go to the voters to decide on the 2022 ballot. Jeremy Chen, 13 Action News.